今年刚刚16岁，可却已经是名母亲。校长要她退学的原因是，她在体检这天又查出了身孕。
Are you pregnant again?
校长不屑一顾，珍妮也不想过多交流。可是刚刚转身，校长就喝令她坐下。
I'm going to have to suspend you.
They ain't fair. I don't do nothing. I do my work. My grades is good.
校长猜出是家庭的原因，想要对珍妮进行家访，可珍妮却劝他不要这么做。他在肮脏的水池里刷锅洗碗，母亲却抄起东西直接扔了过来，只因为他没有买到母亲想要的香烟。昏迷之中，他想起了那个身影，那个让他怀孕2次的继父。
I ain't gonna say it no more.
头发还尚未干透，他就做起了晚饭，而母亲则对着电视沉沉地睡了过去。母亲命令他赶走访客，他也变得凶狠了起来。可听到来人是自己的校长，他顿时就收敛了一切。可母亲却要求他依旧凶狠。母亲不想丢了家里的福利金，而校长的家访则会造成这种可能。
Let's just get out of here before I kick your ass.
All right, Clarice. I spoke to Mr. Wicker, and he told me that you're one of his best math students.
If your fat ass gonna get that bitch away from me.
Like a potential for math.
听到了自己喜欢的数学，珍妮没有挂断，即便母亲的目光中已经迸发出怒火，她也依旧没有退缩。珍妮知道这是自己唯一的机会。珍妮没有说话，只是掠过母亲上了楼，可母亲却依旧不肯放过她，坐在楼下破口大骂。想起她被2婚强暴，母亲却更加气愤。
Precious! Precious! Get down here, bitch! You brought that white bitch up in my house? Why would you bring that bitch up in here? I didn't bring her here. Well, why the fuck did she ring my buzzer? I can't hear you, Precious. Since you got so much motherfucking mouth and you gonna bring a bitch up in my house, why would that bitch ring my goddamn buzzer? I ain't telling her to come here.
此刻不管珍妮是对是错，母亲的怒火全都倾泻而来。校长的家访只不过是他骂人的借口，他把一切错都归咎于珍妮，仿佛她优秀的如同圣人一般。相比于自己的亲生女儿，他更在乎的却是福利金。
I should have aborted your motherfucking ass, cause you ain't shit. I knew the day the doctors put you in my goddamn hand, you wasn't a goddamn thing, and you had that smirk on your face, bitch. Now smile about that. Smile about that, you fat bitch.
珍妮的第一次反抗遭遇了一通殴打，但只要种子发了芽，那一切都将势不可挡。珍妮翻看着相册，看着上面温柔可爱的母亲，幻想中的母亲懂得自己的难处，并且会主动关心自己。可真实的母亲却始终烟不离手，在楼下忘情的陶醉之中，似乎这万种风情在丈夫那能够赢过女儿。珍妮今天要去校长推荐的学校，可还没出门，她就听到了母亲的命令，她需要买同样的香烟，还要想办法搞到猫砂。他来到新学校报到，一切都显得有些局促。看着接待员的态度和周遭的环境，珍妮才知道校长并不是欣赏自己，而是通过伪装将自己甩了出去。他在开心上画了个圈，然后又匆忙涂掉。这些测试根本就不是入学测试，只是在证明珍妮是否是个低能儿。他总是幻想着死亡才能解脱，可在想到自己那遥不可及的明星梦，他又觉得一切还好，他的人生还有希望。
Looking up for a piano to fall, a desk, couch, TV.Mama, maybe. Always something in my way.
恶意总是来的没有缘由，或许只是因为体重过大。昏死的瞬间，他又站上了闪耀的舞台，所有人都在为他欢呼，所有人都在为他痴狂。只是一只狗狗的甜食，却让他重新回到了现实。他多想自己能够白一点，能够瘦一点，像大街上的辣妹一样，说不出的万种风情。只可惜，幻想也只能是幻想。母亲今天没有下楼，珍妮也喝得大喊，这即便是饥饿，她也必须照顾母亲。当她再次走进教室，整个世界都泛着金光，这耀眼的光芒仿佛预示着希望。老师轻轻摆手，珍妮有了自己的位置。只是这特殊学校的学生都是些行差踏错的母亲，自卑的珍妮连抬头看老师的勇气都没有。可面对她的自卑，老师却极为耐心。
I never really talked in class before.
How does that make you feel?
Here.Make me feel here.
Everybody open their journal.
他拿到了满分，算是在改变的路上迈出了第一步。可是刚刚回家，母亲就要将他那已经迈出的脚给拽回来。
Get your big ass in here.
女孩这次转身，左手拿了个小锅，而母亲见到之后，脾气也不由得好了不少。可是因为去特殊学校上课，珍妮被停掉了福利补助，或许正是因为这口小锅，母亲并没有追究。
You plan on putting some food in that frying pan?
母亲让她从现在的学校退学，然后去福利局指定的学校上课。
You need to forget about that school shit and take your ass down to the welfare.
可现在的珍妮已经被老师打动，或许在她心里，那温柔耐心的老师才更适合做自己的母亲。
Hurry your ass up. I am in here fucking starving.
珍妮好不容易做好晚饭，母亲却因为晚餐卖相不好而拒绝，而这份晚餐只能由珍妮自己吃掉。
Just fix mine when you get done. Since you fucked it up, you gonna eat it up. Hurry up and eat, Precious. I'm fucking hungry too.
看着电视里的节目，珍妮陷入了幻想。她多羡慕电视里的母女关系，多希望那能变成自己。可是现实却是母亲那冷冽的白眼。珍妮不想离开那个老师，于是就找到了社会福利局。可业务员张嘴就是询问，他想知道珍妮的家庭情况。
Ain't nothing to really talk about.
I need to know about your home life. I need to know what it's like where you live.
My mother's like a whale on the couch. She say I eat all the time, but she always making me eat. And she called me a fat mess. She said the apartment little cause of me. Only time she ever leaves is to play her numbers. I feel like I could just sit in that house with her every day. The shades drawn. Watch TV, eat, watch TV, eat again. Can you help out with that?
业务员哑口无言，只是看向珍妮的眼神中却包含了情绪。珍妮的第一个孩子患有唐氏综合症，母亲和自己没办法照看，只能送到外婆那寄养。而当社工上门的时候，女儿才会被接回来，这样他们才能领到更多的福利金。而为了应对社工，母亲总是会打扮得十分精致。
Get off of me. Get that child on, please. Oh my goddamn.
有社工在的时候，母亲变成了珍妮想要的样子，温柔贤惠，语气轻柔。她骗社工自己在找工作，这一骗就是7年。
Precious, any questions for me?
社工走后，母亲就暴露了本性，在外婆震惊的眼神中，她习惯性地拿出了自己的香烟。
I don't know what the fuck you shaking your head for. You didn't do no goddamn better.
说起父亲让自己怀孕的事，业务员震惊的不行。珍妮意识到了自己的失语，便赶忙否认。不管业务员如何询问，她都不肯多说一个字。而这样做的后果是她拿不到1分钱。
Don't know how I had my first baby on the kitchen floor. My mama kicking me upside my head.
珍妮受不了继续说谎，而福利局也理所应当的取消了他们一家的福利金。她现在要面对的后果就是母亲真的会杀了她。但是在这之前，老师带他们参观了博物馆，坏学生主动挑事，同学却攥住了他的手。或许就是这份温情让他没有反击。放学之前，老师和同学们聊天，那轻松自在的样子无名的让他觉得心安。只是轮到他上台朗读的时候，却突然发生了意外。第2次生产，他依旧痛得死去活来。不过让人欣慰的是，这个孩子很是健康。同学来病房探望，他也和医生聊得火热，久违的笑容出现。但是珍妮并不知道，这是他今后日子里的唯一的快乐。他和老师写信，彼此聊着心事。珍妮也不知道什么时候开始，那老师已经走进了自己的心里。母亲得知消息，并没有出现在病房，负责照顾她的竟然是年过7旬的外婆。
He's your baby. It's probably the last time you're going to ever see him.
安妮自己也清楚，想抢走孩子的人太多，并不了解了继父以人权为盾的福利机构，甚至是自己的母亲，保不齐也会对孩子痛下毒手。可每当他的情绪有所下降，老师都会给予鼓励。只要珍妮上了高中，他就能上大学；上了大学之后，他就能做一切想做的事。收起墙上的鼓励，他独自走出了医院，带着已经满月的孩子，珍妮打开了自己家的房门。
Hey, Precious. Hey. You had the baby. Boy, where you been all this time? Let me see. Can I hold him? You bitch! You fucking bitch!
珍妮没有着急争吵，反而第一时间奔向了孩子。撕扯之前，她被母亲摔在了柜子上。珍妮不知道是什么时候开始，母亲开始对自己厌恶。婴儿时的自己明明能收获到满满的母爱，就像自己推倒母亲一样，就像自己真是自己的孩子一样。临走之前，她打开了母亲心爱的电视，而母亲也一个花盆狠狠地砸在了珍妮的后背。她大步离开，她知道自己没有了家。可脚下一趔趄之后，她从楼梯上摔下， 落地的瞬间，他保护好了自己的孩子，而母亲则搬出了电视，趁着他查看孩子的时候。他坐在沙发上，习惯性地拿起了遥控器，可想到电视已经破碎，他气得又冲上了楼。母亲毁掉了他的所有梦想，然后无力地坐在了床上。珍妮抱着孩子穿梭在风雪之中，她想到福利站寻求帮助，可是这里却已经关门，她只能坐上地铁前往自己的学校。老师和接待上班，看到了破碎的玻璃。在报警之前，老师发现了珍妮，她睡得深沉，可怀中的婴儿却十分可爱。老师开始四处求助，甚至让学生们自己上课。他安排同学去帮珍妮买衣服，然后继续自己的控诉。
16 years old, a 3-day-old infant.
可是美国的政策繁琐，这让他不得不怒摔电话。
We'll find you a place to live.
打了一天的电话，老师的脸上终于有了笑容，看向珍妮的眼神之中充斥着满满的希望。老师收留了珍妮，给了她一顿丰盛的晚餐。她的朋友像她一样善良，善良的散发着光芒，和谐轻松的氛围像极了电视中的圣诞节一样。没了母亲和家暴，安妮宛如新生。她不光获得了进步奖金，还获得了市长奖励。为了庆祝，老师和同学们给她开了一个 party， 一切都尽善尽美。安妮也十分享受现在的生活。可是没多久之后，母亲就找上了门来。她犹豫了许久，还是鼓起勇气拽开了门。她麻木地坐在对面，母亲也没有表情。
Your daddy dead.
That's all?
He had that AIDS virus.
You got it?
Got what?
The AIDS virus.
No.
虽说珍妮已经有了猜测，可她却不愿意承认。她劝母亲去复查一下，而母亲则问她要不要回家。她始终都做着白日梦，梦里有闪闪发光的白马王子。可是当母亲路过，一切瞬间就变得暗淡无光。又是一次课堂，可是珍妮却无心学习，笔记本上只有几个字：为什么是我？老师知道她又出了问题，便想了疏导一番，可珍妮就坐在那里，仿佛什么都没听见。
Nurse say I'm HIV positive.
众人都十分震惊，眼神中充满了不可置信。
Is your baby okay?
Yeah, I just gotta stop breastfeeding him.
老师劝她不要放弃，要继续自己的梦想。可珍妮现在已经丧失了所有的希望。
I ain't never had no boyfriend. My daddy said he gonna marry me. I ain't gonna do that with fucking me illegal.
老师缓步上前，依旧要求了她继续学习。可珍妮此时身心俱疲，已经没了活下去的勇气。
Not for yourself, and for the people who love you.
Nobody loves me.
People do love you, Precious.
Love ain't done nothing for me. Love beat me, raped me, call me an animal, make me feel worthless, make me sick.
That wasn't love, Precious. Your baby loves you. I love you.
想到自己的孩子，想到真心爱护自己的朋友，他找到社工，希望他能解决自己的麻烦。可是话说到一半，珍妮却改变了主意。她谎称自己口渴，社工便去买水给她。而趁着这个空档，她偷到了自己的资料。而社工回来之后，却聊起了他的母亲。
She says she wants to see you, and she wants to be reunited with you and her grandchildren, and she wants to come and have a session here with you.
What'd you tell her?
I said I had to speak to you about it.
从档案上，他知道了福利局是如何了解自己的，并且还知道了福利局打算为自己安排工作。有了这份工作，他就可以养活自己的孩子，并且他也有能力接回自己的大女儿。
What kind of sense that make for somebody like Precious to quit school before she got her GED and go work for some old white people somewhere? She ain't never gonna be nothing if she gets stuck on some shit like that.
不光是同学不同意，老师也拒绝了他的想法。毕竟大学是珍妮的梦想，而梦想不应该被现实泯灭。再次来到福利局，是和母亲的三方会谈。母亲先是否定了家暴和侵害，然后就开始语无伦次。她说自己和丈夫都十分宠爱珍妮，她那肥硕的身材就是最好的证据。而字里行间所透露的是她对于珍妮的所有权。
The summertime. She was born. The summertime. Remember that?
I was born in November.
November. Yeah. That's right. My Scorpio child.
社工打断了母亲的胡言乱语，他也不得不认真回答。
When it first began,
She was 3.
听到答案，所有人都不可置信，如此的龌龊，如此的不作为。一个母亲此时却显得义正言辞，她为自己辩解了借口，听呆了在场的二人，那迷离的眼神之中透露着深深的迷茫。
grandson,
But Miss Weiss, I don't like you looking at me like that. You got this bitch looking at me like I'm some kind of fucking monster.
we don't talk like this in my office, okay?
I had a man and I have a child. And I had to take care of both of them. Okay? Did I want Carl to touch my baby? Because I would lay my baby. I would lay her on the side of me on this pillow. And it was pink. And it had this little white writing on it, and it had her name. 'Cause she was precious. And I would lay my baby on that pillow. And Carl would be laying on the other side. He reached over and he touched my baby. And I asked him, I said, Carl, what are you doing? And he told me to shut my fat ass up, and it was good for her.
And what did you do then?
I shut my fat ass up.
You shut up and you let him abuse your daughter.
That was my man. That was my fucking man. Was my man. And he wanted my daughter. And that's why I hated her.
她将丈夫的离开、丈夫的背叛都归咎于一个3岁的女孩，她心里始终都藏着这事，所以对珍妮极为的厌烦。她故意将女儿喂得肥胖，就是要争取丈夫的宠爱。可是这么做了之后，她却成了孤家寡人。
Since you got your degree and you know every fucking thing, who was gonna love me? Who was gonna make me feel good?
母亲意识到了不对，便抹掉了脸上的泪水。她收到了学校寄给她的东西，那里面有珍妮写的诗，可她没能找到诗句，反而把糖糖抱了回来。她意识到了自己的不对，便赶忙求饶。
I'm sorry. And Miss Weiss, I don't want no checks. I don't need no more money. Please, I'm so sorry.
I took that tab test again.
听明白了一切，安妮也下定了决心，她一定要做一个合格的母亲，而良好的教育则会成为她的一大助力。
No, I never knew what you was until this day. Not even after all them things you did. Maybe I was too stupid. Maybe I just didn't want them. You ain't gonna see me no more.
有些人就像身在隧道里，一丝微弱的曙光仅仅存在于他们的心中，但就是这一道微弱的光芒，在生活的苦难与残酷中，仍是令人无不动容的希望。爱与尊重平时有力，触动颇深，就算是打击无休止的来，他却活得比无病呻吟的我们还要坚强。每天一部好电影，期待与你的下一次相遇。